time to give my thoughts on Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios. Now, my instinct after the fight is that Mario Barrios should have won based on the amount of punches landed and based on rounds won. But there were multiple times in this fight where I thought the rounds could go either way. And if the judges were to give it to Pacquiao, I couldn't really argue. And just the mere fact that Mario Barrios was having those kind of rounds against Pacquiao, close rounds could go either way. When Pacquiao had been out for 4 years, was 46, has fought with a style that ages you fast his entire career, and didn't even look good in the last time he was in the ring, which was almost half a decade ago. That is just a damning indictment on Mario Barrios. It was embarrassing. And I just thought, well, why do I want to invest my time to even think about who's won this fight? Mario Barrios is just embarrassing himself. I mean, just the mere fact that he took this fight, it's embarrassing. Like, he didn't talk about fighting Boots Ennis. He didn't talk about fighting Brian Norman Jr. He didn't talk about fighting one of the lighter weight guys coming up, Teofimo Lopez or Devin Haney. He just said, no, I'll take Pacquiao. Why not? And it's embarrassing. So I wasn't even passionate to put my time and energy into thinking, oh, who's really won this round? It's just like, Barrios shouldn't even be having these close rounds with Pacquiao. So is it plausible that Pacquiao actually should have won and should have and was robbed? I mean, yes. But just again, just the mere fact that Barrios was allowing these rounds to be so close is just, again, it's embarrassing because Manny Pacquiao was for the first time unable to explode like he has throughout his career. He had almost no bounce in his step. He had no explosiveness. His legendary combinations out of nowhere, the leaping jab, the combination, the 8-punch combinations, 10-punch, 16-punch combinations, you know what I'm talking about, weren't there. Now, I feel weird saying that because of course they wouldn't be there. Again, 46 years old, out of the ring for almost half a decade, and has fought with a style that ages you fast, dramatically. So it didn't surprise me that Pacquiao didn't have any bounce in his step for the first time in his entire life. I said on Johnny's show after the fight, this is the first time in the history of mankind Pacquiao has basically looked like an old man, like a stationary target. But again, given all of that, Barrios shouldn't have even had any close rounds in this fight. So the fact that he did, it really just shows that he is a terrible champion. And I don't like to say that about fighters, but Barrios is just, he should be embarrassed about this. He should be embarrassed that he even had these close rounds with Pacquiao. And as for Pacquiao, he's definitely going to fight again after this. I don't think there's any question. I mean, if you look good enough in your comeback, again, regardless of the circumstances, of course you're going to fight again. That's just who Pacquiao is, and that's who these fighters are. These fighters who just cannot give it up. And I talked before the fight on multiple shows like Johnny's that all the signs for me were pointing to this going bad. This looking potentially like Sugar Ray Leonard against Hector Camacho, or Roberto Duran against William Joppy, or Roy Jones Jr. against Glenn Johnson, or you could say Roy Jones against a ton of guys, the amount of times he was knocked out. Ali against Trevor Berbick. But he ended up looking good enough against a poor champion to where he could fight again. And I'll do plenty of videos on what that may mean. And I do feel that a lot of people, including myself, are going to have to do videos talking about Pacquiao's legendary career because he's still fighting, and it's one of those things where I would like to see him retire, but again, given how it went, regardless of the quality of champion, he does have reasons to think, you know what, I can still do this. I mean, I was barely out of kindergarten when this guy won his first world title, and now I'm in my 30s, and this guy's still fighting. I mean, it's incredible. I wasn't even in kindergarten when this guy started fighting, and I'm still blown away that he was able to put on that kind of performance. It's kind of like Bernard Hopkins against Sergey Kovalev. Now, Kovalev was much, much better than Barrios ever was or ever will be, and Hopkins was older than Pacquiao is. But by saying that, Kovalev put on a much better performance, of course. He cleaned Hopkins out for the first time in Hopkins' career. And given that, Hopkins thought, well, I went the distance with this guy, the most feared puncher in the division, so why shouldn't I fight again? And even HBO said, yeah, Hopkins kind of does deserve to fight again. So let me know what you guys think down below again. Who actually thought that Pacquiao won legitimately? I'm going to do a video compilation on the amount of people who thought Pacquiao got robbed. And again, I do think, last thing I'll say, and it may sound harsh, but it's why I've put this in the thumbnail, Mario Barrios does need to be shamed for this, because it was disgraceful that he picked this fight to begin with, and his performance, in my opinion, was disgraceful. So let me know your thoughts down below, guys. Catch you later. More videos coming soon. Peace.